A lot of the times we have troubles manifesting what we want because we create a lot of resistance. Resistance to the present moment is one of the biggest things that block the manifestation process. Now, we don't need to be feeling all this resistance. There are certain things in life that can create that resistance. But what we can do is we can actually release the resistance to the resistance itself, and that will actually allow you to manifest faster. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 reasons you might not be manifesting what you want, 3 reasons why you might be blocking your manifestations, and these things are actually bringing up resistance. But when you can release the resistance to the resistance itself, now you're going to be in a much better position to manifest those things that you truly want to see happen. So this is going to be 3 reasons you are not manifesting in your life. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. So the very first thing that might be blocking your manifestation, and the first reason you are not manifesting in your life right now, is because there's too much resistance in the actions that you are taking. Because the ego loves to have control with everything. And this is a big trap that a lot of people can fall in when it comes to manifesting, is that they believe in their minds that they have to control the entire universe. Now, I'm not saying this to disempower you. I'm saying this to actually empower you and make you realize that the limited human sense of self does not have to control the entire universe. You can have better control over the entire universe when you, like, this is just the way that I see it at least, when you release the resistance to the actions that you are taking in the present moment. So it's like, I kind of mix some topics in there, but the actions that you're taking have to be coming from a space of non-resistance. Because when you're taking actions, you don't need to be in this space of like fight and struggle and control. Can you trust that every action that you're taking doesn't have to be in a state of resistance? Like if you're taking actions because you have to control everything, which is why I brought up those points earlier, and I kind of mix those points, because think about it. We can take actions that are more aligned with a sense of unconsciously manipulating reality than we think. It's like, maybe you might be messaging that person out of neediness when you don't even have to, but they're going to be getting back to you shortly. And because you message that person from a space of resistance, now what happens is that person now gets repelled by your energy because you were needy for something. Now, it doesn't matter what we're talking about here, because that resistance can be created in many different areas of your life. Messaging somebody is one example. We don't have to control every single thing that we do in our life. It doesn't mean that you can't take actions. Actions are great, but the resistance behind the action can be a serious issue. Question: are you taking certain actions in your life right now that are coming from that energy of like resistance? You know what I'm talking about. You know what energy I'm talking about. You can actually feel this in your body. You can feel this in your body. It's very subtle, but it does not have to be your experience of life on a consistent basis. Now, resistance can come up, but like I said, you have to resist the resistance. So the actions that you're taking can be aligned from a space of non-resistance. And you can actually get more control over the whole universe. We'll get to that later in the second point in terms of what I meant by actually trusting the universe and trusting the entire universe and not controlling, because you are the creator of your reality. But when I'm talking about you, I might be talking about something completely different than what you might be talking about, so to speak, when I say the word you. We'll get to that later. Just keep in mind that too much resistance in taking actions can be a serious issue. So whatever you can do to take actions from a space of non-resistance and not fighting with what is happening in your experience can allow you to actually manifest what you desire in a much faster way. Not to fight. Like Eckhart Tolle says, say yes to the present moment. But it's not going to be like a verbal yes. It's an inner yes where you're not fighting the actions that you're taking. So here's a quick solution before I get to the second point. If there's too much resistance in the action that you're taking, just don't take the action. Just pull your energy back. Maybe all you have to do is literally do nothing and wait and be in a state of complete non-resistance, and that is going to bring you the manifestation faster than if you keep trying to figure that situation out with your limited ego sense of self. You got to understand, you're connected to literally the oneness of all that is. Do you think that you have to manipulate every single tiny logical situation? Or do you think that if you were to trust the energy and the vibration that you're in, and at least try your best to raise your energy, sometimes the energy falls down, that's okay, that's part of life, but can you trust that if you just take the actions from the right space, even if it logically doesn't make complete sense, that is going to bring you closer to the manifestation? Can you trust that? That's going to be huge. So that's a quick solution right there. Now the second reason why you might not be manifesting is you might have a lack of trust in yourself. Now, here's the interesting thing that I really need you to understand in this video. When I'm talking about yourself, I'm talking about a different self than what most people are talking about. When I say self, I'm not talking about the limited human construct that we're all attached to when we're in the ego state of consciousness. I'm talking about something much, much deeper than this limited ego sense of self. When I say the word self, I'm talking about self with the capital S in some ways. If you want to communicate that self in that way. That's one way to communicate it out of infinite ways that we have in this human language. Capital S self is one pointer to your true self, or at least that's what some people that's the one pointer that we have in life. Self with a capital S. Now, what is that self with a capital S? That's another word for your divine self, the entire universe, the oneness of all that is. You want to be trusting in that self, because you got to realize this is going to go super esoteric and this is going to go super deep, but these are insights that I've been having lately. When I say I, that's who am I talking about? Am I talking about the ego or the divine self? We'll get to that later, but I've been having a lot of insights lately, so to speak, and what I've been noticing is that when I put the burden on my thoughts and my limited sense of self to be doing all the manifestation, it creates a lot of resistance. A lot of resistance gets created. When I put it in the hands of my divine self, my higher self, my true self, but it's not just a concept in my mind, it's a true connection to the oneness of all that is. And then I put my trust in that. I trust myself. I trust myself to manifest what I want. But when I'm talking about myself, what I'm more conscious of now in my meditations and as I go through my life is that I'm not just trusting my human body and my thoughts and my actions to manifest, although that's part of the self, that's part of it. I'm talking about the oneness of life. Have you ever had a synchronicity in your life where you realize that your limited ego could not have orchestrated those events to bring that situation to you? That is what I'm talking about when it comes to trusting the universe. I'm talking about universe with a capital U, the entire oneness of all that is. The universe where me and you are just separate entities, but we're actually one big being that we're all connected to. And can you trust in that self to bring you what you want? the divine intelligence, the oneness of all that is, where you don't even technically need to be affirming every single second. Although maybe like for me personally, I don't need to be affirming 24/7. Sometimes I affirm when I feel like it, or if I'm in a state of deep meditation, maybe at the end of it, I'll have a desire to visualize or affirm. But what I'm leaning towards more in my life right now, at least at this point in my journey, is being in a state of complete divine alignment, where I set the intention to manifest what it is that I want, but then I just trust in the divineness of life to bring me what it is that I want, where it doesn't matter if certain external situations are telling me that it's not coming, or if I get rejected in this area of my life, or if this thing doesn't work out. None of that matters. What matters is my divine connection to who I truly am, which is of course the beingness of who we truly are, that self with the capital S. And that connection to yourself not only brings you more peace, but it brings you a sense of trust, a sense of deep trust in that present moment that you're in, where it does not matter what happens in the external world, but you know that as long as you're connected to that deeper beingness that you truly are, that everything that you truly want to manifest will happen to you in perfect timing. Now, what I've been questioning in my life is, okay, well, am I the complete controller and manipulator of my reality? Yes, but who are you talking about when you say I? Who are you talking about? I am the creator of my reality, but I am not my thoughts or my body or my emotions. Do you see what I'm saying? You are the creator of your reality, but you are not your ego. You are something much deeper than your ego. That is the person that creates the reality. And I made an error in what I just said, because it's not the person that creates the reality. The person is an extension of the source that is creating with this source and creating the reality, and you can align yourself with that. You can align the person with the divineness of who you truly are. That will then bring you the manifestations, and it doesn't have to be hard. So this is the reason that you're not manifesting, is a lack of trust in your divine self. If you can trust in that divine self, believe me, you're going to be able to manifest in a much more powerful way. And you're going to feel so much more peaceful in the process. Like when I have this burden, listen, I'm a unique individual. And for me personally, manifesting by affirming 24/7, I can't manifest like that. I need to just let go and trust. Now, believe me, affirming is great. I think that affirming has its time and place. And I might come into a different space in my life later in my manifestation journey where I need to affirm more. And there's sometimes moments in my life where I do feel that I need to affirm. But it's like, for me right now, it's about trusting in that divine self, where it can actually be easier. It can be easier. My affirmation is that I don't always need affirmations to manifest what I truly want. Now, some people want to resist that, but I just want to say to you, is it possible that you can manifest without having to affirm 24/7? Now, just be open to that idea. I'm still playing with this idea as well. But the thing is, it's not even an idea. It's actually to transcend ideas completely and to trust in that divine self, to trust in that deeper part of who we truly are, to bring that manifestation that we want to us. And here's the thing though, I might have sounded like something, like what I just said may go against what some people believe, but the thing is though, maybe in the process of trusting that divine self, you have a spontaneous urge to start affirming your affirmations. You see what I'm saying? It's about trusting in that self. Within that self, you might have an urge to start affirming what you want to experience in your life. You might have that urge, but maybe you don't need to affirm. Maybe you just need to trust in that divine self and not affirm at all the next moment. It's just about flowing in each moment. That's all it is. It's just about trusting each present moment and trusting that deeper sense of self to bring you what it is that you truly want to see happen in your life. Now, the very last reason, the third reason you are not manifesting in your life, and the third reason is you have a belief, you might have a belief that it has to be a difficult process to manifest. Like it has to be a struggle. And everything has to be logical, right? Everything has to be hard. Everything has to have this burden. There's this burden to each present moment where it's like, I need to figure this out logically. The ego loves to do that. It loves to do that. It loves to figure it all out logically. All that, like, isn't it such a, just let me ask you this question. Isn't it a struggle to be living in that space of figuring it all out logically? I know that it is for me. It is a very big struggle to be struggling all the time. And then you can struggle with the struggle and then struggle and then you're struggling with the fact that you're struggling and then you're resisting and then you're resisting it. Like resistance on top of resistance, on top of resistance, on top of logic, on top of trying to figure. How about let it all go and be open to the idea that manifestation does not have to be difficult and does not have to be a struggle. How about manifestation is easy and all you have to do is take each moment in your life, sort of moment by moment, where there's no resistance needed. And if there is resistance, you don't need to resist the resistance. You can even allow that resistance to be there. You don't even need to resist the resistance itself. You can trust that it's all part of the process, that everything that you're manifesting is all a part of the divine process, bringing you closer to that thing that you truly want to see happen in your life. This is all part of the game, okay? It's all part of the game of life. And anything that comes up is not required of you to resist that. It's not required of you to resist that. It's not required of you to make the process of manifestation very, very difficult. What if you could take less action? Now, maybe you still take actions, right? Like I always say, I record a lot of videos on this channel, a lot of videos, but lately what I've been doing is I've actually been pulling my energy back in more, even with the daily videos, doing more meditations, taking more walks, right? Working less, but I've been feeling way more peaceful and I feel so much better. And from that space, manifestation has to be more powerful. It has to, because your vibration's literally higher. When you're at a higher frequency, things manifest much, much faster and you feel better too. It's such a paradox. It's such a paradox. This is the thing that I've noticed in my life. When you I want you to really, really listen closely to what I'm about to say, okay? Because this is actually, when I realized what it is that I'm about to share with you, this completely blew my mind. This blew my mind, so to speak. This blew my mind because what I realized is that when I can actually come into full 100% acceptance to what is happening in this present moment right now, that is the space you are going to manifest from. This is what I think. Just hear me. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. I think that true manifestation, where you're completely connected to the source, I'm talking about higher frequency, higher consciousness, like fifth dimensional manifestation type stuff. I think true divine, like as esoteric as it gets manifestation, like true mysticism kind of stuff, is when you can be in a complete surrendered state of consciousness, where you're so surrendered, you're in such a complete state of acceptance, you're so connected to that divine essence that you have within you, where you feel like you have no need to control anything at all, and then you just align from that space, everything you want will begin to manifest. That's what I think. That's what I believe. That's what this person, that's what Francis, the person, believes. But the divine self within me feels, I mean, it's not a feeling, it's just that deep, divine sort of knowing. And in my meditations, I can just feel that the less I control, the easier things get and the faster things become and the less resistance that I have, and things just fall into place. And it all starts with believing that things can be actually easy. First of all, just slow down. Let go of the belief that the manifestation process has to be this difficult process. Like, oh, I need to be working out, like I need to be feeling all this negative emotion to manifest. Like, I need to be pushing, right? It's like, maybe you didn't get a message from that person, so I need to message that person to make sure that it works out. Otherwise, it's not going to work out because the universe doesn't have my back. Be aware in your life, are you taking actions from the foundational belief that the manifestation process has to be hard? Are you taking actions from that space? Be aware. I've noticed a lot of moments in my life where like the literal text message that I'm sending, for example, is coming from a foundation of me thinking that it has to be hard. And then I let it go, right? I go back into myself with a capital S, my true divine self, and then I feel peaceful again. And then maybe it doesn't work out at the very next moment, but eventually it always does. Now, here's the thing that I want to finish off this video with. This is the problem with our egos and the part of us that is attached unconsciously to certain things. You might think you're conscious. I think that I'm conscious, but we always have blind spots. Even within that connection to our divine self that you might have, there's might always be some blind spots, you know, that's just how it is. Now, here's the thing, this is going to be very powerful for you, I believe, if you truly get this, because here's the thing, we might believe that certain things in life are easy to manifest, right? It's like, oh, I can manifest that situation easy. I don't need to resist. I just trust that my divine self will bring it to me. You feel like you don't have to work hard for it, right? Like, maybe there's some things in your life that are just natural for you to manifest. Like, it's just natural. Like, you know you're gonna have, for example, food. Hopefully, not everybody, unfortunately, some people in the world don't have that natural belief, but maybe you have the belief that naturally you can have food on the table, or naturally when you turn on the tap, like in your sink, the water it's just gonna start flowing. You just trust. Or maybe you just believe that it's natural for you to manifest people in your life. Maybe not, right? Some people aren't there yet. But the thing is, for some things you might feel like it's natural to manifest, right? But then there's that one thing where it's like, okay, I believe that it doesn't have to be hard to manifest this opportunity. But then for this thing that's all the way up here, no, for that thing, I have to be logical, right? I have to be like messaging the person, understanding every little aspect of the process and figuring it all out with my ego, right? For that thing, I need, right? I need to figure that one out logically, right? Because that's so important in my life. It's like, no, this thing, it's like the universe supports me in these areas, but when it comes to finances or the job opportunity or manifesting something in your life that's more important to you, and saying, no, for that thing, I need to figure it out. Let go of that. If you can let go of that, that will bring you closer to your manifestation. Let go of that. If you can let go of that, what's going to happen is you're going to get one step closer to manifesting what you want. Because notice how for certain things, it's just this natural manifestation process, right? Very easy. But then for that thing, it's like, no, I need to work harder for that, right? I need to push a little bit more. I need to be more, I need to think more about this. It's like, notice that. Be aware of that resistance when it comes to particular manifestations in your life. And let go of the idea in your mind telling you that it needs to be hard, when in reality, it doesn't. You literally could just stop messaging that person, just stop making that situation hard, and just let go of that resistance, right? So you don't need to be pushing so hard. You could just stop and just let it go, and then do meditation instead, right? And when I say stop, I don't mean it like in a negative way, but it's just like, let it go. It can be so much easier. It's like when I just kind of just stopped pushing and I just meditated instead for certain situations in my life, and I put it into the hands of my divine self, so to speak, and my higher self and the universe and the oneness of all that is, I feel better. And then it ends up working out powerfully as well. So be conscious that for certain things, when that resistance comes up, specifically for certain manifestations, let that go. Okay, now if you apply these 3 things in your life, or at least you become conscious of these 3 reasons and release them, what's going to happen is you're going to get one step closer to manifesting what you truly desire. Now, I think that this video is extremely powerful, and I would highly recommend that you go back and watch this again if needed, okay? So if this video resonated with you, hit that like button so more people can actually see the truth of manifestation, and so that more people can see this video, because every single human being deserves to know that connection that they have to their divine selves, where they do not need to be struggling to live life and to manifest, okay? So that's all I have for this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. As always, have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next